the wrong button or something. I don't know, but here we are. Am I on the right account? There one, there one, there well, everybody. Hold on. Did not mean to be so abrupt, but it's whatever. Let's see who's all in the house. Ah, Ndewo. You found me. Yo, Ndewo. We are live. Not on purpose, but we are live. I think I got some of my hair. Got it. Ndewo. Let me post this on Patreon if I can. And then see if we can get people up in here. So if you don't know, for the one person in here, my name is Derek O'Foddermore with the Medicine Shell. This is Ask Me Anything. I talk about Odinala, which is ancestral spirituality, ancestral cosmology, and Igbo ancestral thoughts, right? If you're new to the channel, best way to support the movement, patreon.com/the medicine shell. Look, 6 already, damn. All right, we're going to start once we get 15 people in here. We're going to go ahead and begin once we get 15 people in here. Best way to support the movement is patreon.com/the medicine shell. We are in the middle of a tariff war. So I'm here. I want to see if the tariff warriors are in the house tonight. I don't. We are in the middle of a tariff war, right? All right, so who's all in the house? Uchenna Frank, Udonwane, Sailor, I think it's Chiron. Ola, you have to stay off the camera. Okay? Are you doing to help me? Okay. Come on, Okay, let's wipe your face first, okay? Hold on. Ndewo. My daughter's trying to get up in the spotlight. I'm trying to keep her off of it. See if I'm successful. I think she'll probably win. Once we get 15 people, we'll go ahead and begin. Chiron? You're saying Chiron like the planet, like I know the planet. My son knows. Namdi, is there a planet named Chiron? Chiron or Chiron? A planet.
I think that's Chiron is a moon, but I've never heard of the one with the H, like Chiron.
I'm trying to learn how to pronounce it right. So it's Chiron?
Yeah, Chiron's a moon.
My son says it's Chiron, and he's like a damn, he's a NASA physicist. So, and he's 7. So, hey, we got 10 people. Once we get 15 people, we're going to go ahead and get started. And there one no. Lady Judah, Udo. Lady Judah, I think this is my first time seeing your name. So if you're new to this, then welcome. Guys, get on Patreon. So my last video, I posted a video about the spirit of self-sabotage. It's an equency that I identified as Wanche. On Patreon, I posted a ritual for how to put the Wanche in a vessel and get control of it. So this spirit of self-sabotage, I'm now training it to be my exercise spirit. It's going to watch over me while I exercise. It's going to deflect any weapon fashioned against me while I exercise, and it's going to go sit in its place when it's done. I've now taken control of the situation. We're going to be doing this for 4 moons. So if you want to follow that journey, if you also want to learn how to do the same thing, if you have particular aspects of your spirit, your moi, that you want to get a hold of or control of, then that's a good way to do it. But yeah, so we're doing it for 4 moons. I'm already seeing the results. I'm literally already seeing the results, so this is good, and we're going to continue it. If you're interested, it's on patreon.com/the medicine shell. We need 3 more people in here, and we'll get started. We need 3 more people in here, and we will get started. By the way, guys, find me on TikTok. So I just post random stuff on TikTok. I usually talk about more current affairs. I was just talking about the Chinese are posting all of their oh, you like Birkin bags? This is where we make it. It's only $10. And so I'm posting about how where India, you can get a bunch of cheap medicine in India. Right? So insulin over there, it's let me just say this, insulin costs less than $10 to make. So I talk about random stuff like that. So if you're interested, find me on TikTok, Medicine Shell, same thing. Udonando. All right, so maybe me talking about TikTok made people run away because now we need 5 people. If we can get 5 people in here, we'll go ahead and begin. Post the link to your family WhatsApp. Post it on the family group chat. Post it on Instagram. Let people know. Anybody that you know who would be interested in the topics I discuss, share this with them so we can get our 5 people in here and go ahead and get started. Hit that like button is another way to make it happen. We have 11 people in here and only 4 have hit that like button. All right, Kamo, have you hit that like button? Sailor, have you hit that like button? Uchenna Frank, my brother, have you hit that like button? Lady Judah, have you hit that like button? Explain this spiritual stuff. Carter, I will most definitely explain the spiritual stuff, but I will need you to give me specific questions because I can explain the spiritual stuff for years on end. I just need specific questions so I can focus on something specific within the spiritual stuff. Carter, also hit that like button. Once we get to 15 people, I begin answering the questions. Once you guys run out of questions, I run out of the live. So if you guys have topics you want to discuss, I heard you like button tapped. He said tariffs, economic warfare, and yes, he said so. Sailor and Lady Judah have hit the like button. I don't know about the rest of y'all though. I do go one there. I do go. Kedukede. How are you? Amanze, the land of Nze, the land of great ancestors. Udo udo. Udo, or he who knows, or she who knows the great ancestors, the meaning of the last name. I'd have to hear how it's pronounced. Udo. Now we got 8 people, so maybe I'm doing something wrong. All right, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Once we get 15 people, we will go ahead and begin. Once we get 15, we will go ahead and begin. Don't let me drop the bar too. I might have to drop the bar to 10 because it looks like you guys aren't trying to hear it tonight. I've hit the like button. He said, cool. Now we got more likes than we got people in here, which is what I like to see. So that's good. Jashika. All right. Once we get 15, we'll begin. Does this have anything with putting bitter colas, gin in a jar to conjure these spirits? This particular ritual you're talking about the ritual that I did. I posted a ritual on Patreon, and it is for identifying a particular spirit and then like putting it in its place rather than having it sabotage you and things like that. And it's a self-sabotage spirit, right? A threshold spirit, that thing that keeps you when you're about to cross a threshold, that thing that wants to hold you back and say, no, don't go, it's not safe, it's not you, right? But it did not involve a jar of bitter colas. Hold on, let's stay over here, okay?
Daddy?
Yes, Mama.
I'll stay with you.
You want to stay with me?
Daddy?
Yeah.
I want yogurt.
You want yogurt?
Mm-hmm.
Namdi, can you get your sister yogurt? Yeah. Thank you. Udonando. Okay, so I don't even know why I answered that question because we need 15 people before we start answering questions. So, David, you got a free one. Jashika. All right, y'all. Okay, you know what? We're going to move the bar to 10. Once we get 10 people, I will go ahead and begin, okay? Once we get 10 people, I'll go ahead and begin. For someone else besides oneself. Okay, now we got a good question. So once we officially have 10 people, he said, let us go ahead and begin. Umuibem, Ajabiala, Ukikekeruwa, Alawala, Ala Nemadu na Nemo, Ala Nenyendo, Nenyengo Amadinowa. Ụmụ gị abịala. Ọwụ aka ọcha ka anyị ji na-ekele ụmụ ndị eke, ndị orie, ndị afọ na ndị nkwọ, ndị mbụ na ndị egede, ndị mmadụ na ndị mmụọ. Ha jikwuru obiọma na-ekele ụmụ ndị eke, ndị orie, ndị afọ, ndị nkwọ, nke anyị na-afụ n'ụzọ, nke anyị ga-afụ n'ụzọ, nke anyị fụrụ n'ụzọ. Ọwụ obi udo ka anyị ji aga. Ọwụ ọfọ na ogwu ka anyị ji aga. Okwu nke anyị na-ekwu taa anyị ga-enye anyị udo. Okwu nke ga-enye anyị akụ na ụba. akụ na ụba ka enwere isi ọwụdị nke terif ka eji terif agọta. Okwu nke ga-enye anyị akọ na uche. Okwu nke ga-enye anyị otu obi, otu mmụọ, otu ụkwụ, otu ije, otu mmadụ na otu mmụọ nke dị mma, nke na-enye ndụ, nke Chineke kere ka anyị ji akpata aka. Otu a ka ọ ga-adị na Eke, n'Orie, na Afọ, na Nkwọ. Ise. All right, let's go ahead and begin. This is Ask Me Anything. Ask me the questions and I will answer. Oh, Ademma. So explain the spiritual stuff. There's a lot of spiritual stuff, Carter. If you have a specific question, I will 100% answer it for you to the best of my ability. Does this have anything with putting bitter cola in the jar? So the particular ritual I did does not involve putting bitter cola in the jar. It's primarily around creating a figure and making an agreement with this part of yourself. I want to know if the ritual pertaining to self-sabotage can... Yes.
I'm not sure if we even have yogurt. I can't find it anywhere.
Check the blue box.
What blue box?
There's a box that's blue. Just try to check that.
There's no blue blocks in there. Like, I did see no blue blocks.
Okay. Get your sister a Capri Sun then.
Okay.
Close the door.
Can I get myself a Capri Sun?
Sure, that's fine. Bachunzo. Okay. So, yes, you can perform the ritual for other people, right? You can absolutely perform the ritual for other people. Try to give them the instructions too, and so forth. How can Igbos harness the situation and get our freedom and sovereignty? Oh, are you talking about Biafra? If you're talking about Biafra, we can have a discussion about that. But let's be specific. I don't think we're unfree. And if we want to qualify as Nigerians, whatever that means, then I don't think we lack sovereignty. But it's a compromised freedom and it's a compromised sovereignty, as we both know. And so to move to the next level, we have to have...
There's no more left.
There's no more left, yes. But do you want Capri Sun instead?
Uh-huh.
Okay, here you go, Mama. So in order to make that happen, we... You're welcome, Mama. Okay. All right, go play with your brother. Bachunzo.
I will not steal you over.
Okay, all right, you can do that too. Thank you. But yeah, so he said, Indigo Phoenix, how are you doing? So if the move is towards Biafra, we have to have a clear vision, and then once you have the clear vision, your chi will provide the way. So a vision has been presented, and things are moving. Jashika. Haven't checked out your latest video yet. It's on my list. Yeah, it's different. It's a different type of video. So I like it a lot, and I'm going to be making a lot more videos like it. The next one I'm going to be doing is on our traditional form of government. Like, what was our... Now that the U.S. is on fire... Now that both the U.S. and Nigeria are on fire, because trust me, anything Trump is doing, Tinubu is doing times two. So now that the U.S. and Nigeria are on fire, I'm making a video on like what's our ancestral form of government? How do we organize ourselves as a people? And that's the next one I'm doing. It's going to be coming out next week. I'm going to be up all night working on that particular one. So if you're on Patreon, message me, keep me entertained. I got to stay up. And then I also got to take my son to school. So let's see if we can make both of the things happen. Jashika. I have read the book Orchestra of Minorities. Ask me if I know Orchestra of Minorities. Yeah. I think mine is autographed. I have met Chigozie Obioma a couple of times. And yeah, so this is my Orchestra of Minorities. This is Chigozie Obioma. Brilliant author. I actually did an interview with him. I interviewed him. And I came home and the audio for the interview was super bad. Super bad. So the interview is sitting somewhere in my archives. Now that there's AI, I can probably try to fix it. And you can see a younger me interviewing Chigozie Obioma. He said some really interesting stuff. He shared a story about this spirit in his... no, he didn't do an interview. It was outside the interview. About this spirit in his community that is known as Nemwa. And Nemwa is a variant of Komosu, of the Universal Mother. but in the form of representing her as chaos, right? And so he was talking about this particular thing and how it would be interpreted in America and that kind of thing. So, because it has some really interesting features. So, I didn't mind. Let me finish the question though. Have you read Extra Minorities? What do you think of the cosmology? The cosmology is spot. Everything's cool. Everything's spot on. Everything's spot on. Everything's cool. But if you're asking about like accuracy, we're Africans. Don't trip on that. Don't trip on that. Odinani is an art. Okay, Odinani is an art. It's not a doctrine. It's an art. Okay, and so everybody's gonna make their art differently, and that art is bringing out what's inside of you, and that's what's important. So it's an art. So Chigozie Obioma has his way of describing it. I have my way of describing it. What's his name? Doctor Professor Ume has his way of describing it. I have a traditional medicine class on Patreon, and the DBA that teaches there, he has slight variations in the way he interprets or says things too, right? Then that differ from me, and that kind of thing. And we're all saying the same thing. We all just, you'll just see our little personalities in our own ways. And when you describe your own, it'll come out in the way you come out too. So I think the cosmology in that is spot on. For those who don't know, Orchestra of Minorities is this book, and the main character is like, or how do I put it? His chi is negotiating on his behalf as he's going through this adventure because he went to Cyprus, his passport was taken, and he's in a really bad situation. So his chi is negotiating on his behalf with the gods, right? With the Abara, the pantheon, and so forth. And it's his chi is intervening for him to keep him safe and make sure he moves along his path. Isn't it funny that once I start talking, we get to 21 people, but when I'm waiting for 15 people, anyways, so yeah, that's Orchestra of Minorities. If you guys are interested in that, go get the book. It is really cool. I think works of fiction, when it comes to Odinani, are really good windows for you to understand how Odinani works. Another book that is good is Efuru. If you like Things Fall Apart, it's very similar, but it's from like a woman's perspective, and you really see how much of a role that plays. Hey, Ola, how are you? Do you need to get a shot?
Yeah.
Okay, come here. We're gonna check your temperature. Okay, let's give you a shot. You feeling better? All right. We are babysitter free today, so this is just gonna be one of them lives where I'm being a dad and being a teacher at the same time. Hey, Mama, how you doing?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm fixing. Do you want to fix?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. All right. All right. So when you make the figure, you wash it with herbs and conjure spirits and put it. You can. I didn't do that, but you can. It wouldn't hurt. Let Igbo start building drones. Yeah, you can start now. I'm more than sure there's somebody building drones in the East. I wouldn't doubt it, but you can definitely start. Don't turn your chi just gave you a wonderful business idea. Don't interpret it as a suggestion for somebody else. That belongs to you. So you start. Oh, I can't build drones today. Yeah, you can. Just start. Yeah, what's up?
There's there's a really cool game.
Mm-hmm.
And someone using magnets to build rail guns.
That's
And
crazy.
putting stone walls to like
Block the railroad.
yeah, and he's trying to shoot it and get it through.
Are you watching videos
But
of
it's
it?
in a space simulation.
Okay, that's
It's
crazy.
in space.
That's crazy. Bachunzo,
And
because.
also the game is called Space Simulation Toolkit.
Okay, cool.
You
Thank
can
you.
download it on a computer.
Nambi, I'm live. Close the door. All right.
Download it on a tablet.
Thank you. So, all right. There's a lot to learn from traditional. Oh my God. There's a lot. There's a lot. And especially the ones that don't borrow from like Islam. Like, I think whenever we talk about African governments, you hear a lot of like, oh, the Sultan and all this bullshit. Like, that kind of thing. The native traditional real ones, right? So the Igbo form of government is the Oha democracy republican system, right? The Oha republic system, where each community is a republic, and it's just I'll explain it in the next video. So it should be out on Tuesday. I'll be releasing the video on Tuesday, but it's I think it's a fascinating form of government. I think within it are solutions to a lot of the things that we are facing, right? And sometimes it just takes somebody else to say, hey, this is you, your ancestors have a solution for this thing, right? But it's an incredible way of organizing families, organizations, and communities. And you don't really need to like incorporate the external government. Like it can be a government within a government, you understand, which I think a lot of us need. Odemma. It's going to be real. Like even when we talk about Biafra, like if we don't start taking those things seriously, I'm not interested in no damn Biafra. I don't want a Biafra that's going to be mini Nigeria. So yeah, the traditional government, our native government, and it goes into the cosmology too. You'll also see how the cosmology informs why we govern ourselves the way we do. You'll see why the cosmology informs the way we govern. Man, you guys are crushing them hearts. Hit them hearts. I'm jealous you have a signed copy. Oh, I do go. I'll do my, I got clout out here. I'm not an ordinary somebody. Yeah, no. I've met him a few times. We have a good mutual friend. Um, I'm in the process of writing a book, so I talk to him about my book and things like that. When the book is out, maybe he'll write the foreword. We'll see, right? If he can write the foreword, that'd be cool. Or I mean, Chimamanda, that would be crazy. But Chimamanda yeah, is kind of like hard to access. So I'll do mine. Hello, does Odinani talk about narcissism? Huh. I don't think so. So when it comes to mental, John, good question though. When it comes to mental, well, when it comes to mental health, all yes. Okay, wait 10 minutes, okay? Yeah. When it comes to mental health diagnoses, there is an ancestral psychology. I don't have the book in front of me. I wish I had the book so I can show you. We have our own form of psychology, or what we would call psychology, right? Because I say what we would call psychology because we understand that it's not just about the mind, right? So there's a lot more to it than just like focusing on the works of the mind, like Western psychology. Hola, Chere. Oh, yeah. So we understand that there's a lot more to it. Hey, super donation. Thank you for the donation. We'll get to you in just a second. Let me finish this question. So, what was I gonna say? By the way, guys, smash the dono button. What do they say? Chat, chat, hit the donate. I'm trying to be like Kai Sinet and them. Hi, baby. Hi, Olaf. How are you? I'm fine. Oh, great. Do you want to play downstairs with me so Daddy can go live? Yeah. Okay, let's go. You have to carry me because my legs don't work. All right, so where were we? Narcissism. So we have a different set of diagnoses, and oftentimes diagnoses are based off culture. So what is abnormal in your culture may not be abnormal over here, and so we wouldn't consider that a mental illness, right? As far as Odinani goes, anything like when it comes to what's known as ara or madness, the what is considered ara is something that causes you to pull away from the group, right? Something that causes you to pull away from the group. So you can be like you can have deep schizophrenia, or what we would call schizophrenia, right? You can have deep schizophrenia, but so long as you're a part of the collective and you're a part of the family and you're still able to be a part of the group, then it doesn't matter. That's who you are. You know what I mean? Okay. Then of course they have medicines and herbs to keep you, at bay and so forth. Daddy, give me music. Give you music? Yeah. I can't give you music right now. I'm live. I know. Okay, so. You can. Well, we have to be a little so I can go live, okay? Daddy? Yes. But I want to dance. You want to dance? Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can find some music. So, as I was saying, Daddy. Different cultures have different diagnoses. Now there are some that look narcissistic-ish, right? But they're not completely narcissism. Like there was one form of Ira where the person, oh geez. Aramon, where the person is obsessed with showing the world their power. And because they're obsessed with showing the world their power, that translates in a bunch of different ways. One of the funnier ones I saw was just trying to lift heavy things. But that's not the same as narcissism, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, whatever it is that pulls you away from the collective. Now, you can be a hardcore narcissist, but so long as you're still able to gel with the collective and make things work, then that's just you. That's who you are. You know, it's not an issue. Like a lot of DBOs would, if they were in the West, you would say they have schizophrenia. You in the West, right? But the difference between a DBA and a person who's, not a DBA, but is afflicted similarly with what's called aragon, is that the people who are, my daughter's gonna be pushing the button, so you'll see lights. The person who is a DBA is reintegrated into the community, and the unique configuration of their spirit and mind is now a strength as opposed to a weakness, right? And same thing with narcissism and all these different things. So I don't know. But if you want to see some goddamn narcissists, go. We don't lack in narcissists at home, so at all. Angela says, "Good evening. Igbo cosmology resonates with me so much. Do you feel it correlates with Ghana voodoo?" Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. If you go all up and down the coast of West Africa, even into Central Africa, we are saying the same thing. We are saying the same thing. We have, because of our cultures and our natures, we all have different things we emphasize on, right? There's a stronger emphasis on the individual destiny in Odinani because that's very important to Igbo people. You understand? There's a stronger emphasis on the Orisha in the Yoruba and so forth. And then in Voodoo and so forth, they're going to have a different emphasis, but we're all saying the same things. It's just some things are more important to us than other things. You understand? So, yeah, Angela, 100%. If a lot of the people in our Patreon community that understand Odinani the best are people that have studied Ifa or studied Voodoo or studied Hoodoo or studied Obe. You start seeing all these things like, oh, it's kind of similar, but each one will give you a different emphasis and perspective. I'm from the Midwest. I've only read African women authors so far. I'm also from the Midwest. If you're not too worried about revealing the states, I'd be interested in hearing what state you're from, Sailor. Um, what was I gonna say? But you've only read African women authors. Yeah, we've got some amazing women. What? I think Chimamanda is the best prose writer I've ever read. And before I started writing my book, I Chimamanda and a man that was diagnosed with schizophrenia at a job I used to have, and he had won some like prize for writing, and then it overwhelmed him, right? And I worked at a psychiatric hospital, so Chimamanda and him are the two best prose writers I've ever read in my life. And so I got this big orange book of like a whole bunch of writers throughout history, and I made sure to read all of it before I started writing my book, so that like I understood what I was stepping into because I don't read novels that often. And so, and then they had samples from each person, and Chimamanda was one of the people I had. I had Chimamanda and had Chigozie, not Chigozie, Chinua Achebe. And I think Chimamanda is the best prose writer I've ever read. So yeah, African women authors are incredible. I'm about to get Ikenga. Nnedi Okorafor has a book called Ikenga, and I'm about to get it for my son. He's into novels now, so I've been getting him a few. He just read Chike and the River by Chinua Achebe, so I want to try out Ikenga and the Akata Witch series, see if he likes it. Hey, Mama, you don't have to push that button. You don't have to push it. Come on. Come on. There.
Daddy, turn the light on.
Say what?
Turn the light on.
Can I turn the light on? Okay, fine. All right, where? All right, where are we at? So, can you go into details? Okay, let me go back. Can you go into details about how energy condenses into matter? If I'm remembering, yes, yes. So one of the things in that they say in Odinani is that everything is one. Everything is one. And I saw this brilliant explanation of how that works. So imagine like an ocean, right? It's like an ocean. And the ocean creates waves from its movements. You understand? The ocean creates waves from the movements. We are all waves. We're all them little waves that pop up, You understand? But we're ultimately being controlled by the ocean. We're ultimately an expression of the ocean. And what we do is we hit the shore and then we collapse back into the ocean and then come back as another wave over and over and over. That was the most brilliant explanation of this whole thing that I had seen in a while. And so the way Odinani works as far as matter, what it matters, everything, let's call the water ma, which interesting enough, the word ma also means awareness in the Igbo language, right? So ma creates madu, madindu, which means ma that is alive, which is a human, madu, right? It also creates more. More is like ma, but like the big one, like more big, right? So ma is everything is made of ma. When ma, when your chi creates something, ma will congeal at that, will come together at that point. The as you get to the center of that point, it's more solid, right? It's more solid. That is ma. As you step further and further away, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter until it's just light and then until it's nothing, right? So if you look at the build, how everything in the universe is built, anyanwu na baraya, which is the sun and its rays. At the very center is this hard condensed thing that is solid, and then as you pan out, it just becomes its essence lighter and lighter and lighter. So the abara is another word for moi, the spirit, right? The light form of ma, the less dense form of ma, and that the center is mad, or the hard form of ma, but it's one and the same. It's one and the same. So you have all of these physical organs and parts of your body that are playing a role in your survival, but then your spirit also has these different facets that are also playing a role in your survival too. And in order for a person to be healthy, they have to be conscious of both, right? You have to move with 2 feet. Ndibo say, "Ihe ọbụla kwadoro, ihe ọzọ kwadoro n'akụkụ ya," which means where one thing stands, another thing stands next to it. And that is how creation works. All things come in twos. That's why you can split my face in half and you get the same thing twice, and so forth. So that is ma and moi. So I said you're good, keep flowing, take care of the babies. Yeah. Medicine shell is for the babies. Yeah. Yo, I love your spirit of self-sabotage. John, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Jashike. I build drones for a living. Ah, my chi is telling me something. I mean, could it be related to my history and my chi? I'm interested in military matters. Hi.
Get yogurt.
And I'm going to call you Hi because it's your username.
I want yogurt.
Okay, Namdi will get you yogurt, okay?
Daddy,
Namdi will get you yogurt, Mama.
let's go get yogurt.
Namdi will get you yogurt.
No. Daddy, how do you get
When my son was her age, he would never compete with the live for the camera for attention. But once she sees me talking, she's like, "No, you got to come play with me." So that's just the 2 different personalities. If you build drones, there's huge demand for it at home. Hi, are you on Igbo? Are you from Igbo land? There's huge demand for drones in Igbo land, right? Humongous demand, like incredible demand. So we need somebody to go home who can build drones, who can teach how to build drones, and so forth. Setting up a factory at home is not difficult. We 100% need that. And then in case these
Daddy.
in case these Nigerians want to keep playing around, we need we need people like you. So yeah, oftentimes a lot of people with their chi will tell them what to do next, and they'll go suggest that somebody else should do it, right? And that you got to be careful of that. Okay, Mama, let's lie down. Okay.
No.
No, you don't have to lie down, but we have to. Okay, let's pretend to take a nap. Okay.
I want yogurt.
There's no more yogurt.
I said I want yogurt.
Hola, are you being polite?
No.
You're not being polite, so you're gonna be different, right? You're gonna be polite now.
I'm happy.
You're happy now. Good job, girl.
Daddy,
Yes.
can I get yogurt?
Yeah. Nabi will get you yogurt. Had a girl. All right, can you go into a bit more detail on how you make agreements with the spiritual figurine? So I posted the video on Patreon. If you're interested, go on Patreon. I posted the video how to do it, and then there's a comment section. So if you have questions, I'll answer it there. But there's a video where come here, Mama. Come here. Here, lie down.
No, Daddy.
Do you want to lie down with me, or do you want to go to your room?
I would like it for me.
Okay, no problem. All right, so Yes, Mama.
I want music.
No, we can't have music. It's time to lie down or go to room.
I will go to room.
Okay, so let's try lying down, okay? So what was I gonna say? What was I talking about? Let me read. Hold on. Okay, so if you want to know how to make the agreements, I have the instructions on Patreon. I made a whole video of like my process. So like I broke it down piece by piece, all the items I put in there. The items were specific to me. The items were optional. I don't know if I said that in the video, but either way. And then in the comments as a patron, just ask any question, I'll answer. Like I gave a step by step of what to say as well in the video. So just she can. Every time I post a video, I'm going to try to post an exclusive on Patreon that breaks down how to do something and so forth. So maybe for my government video, I'll think of something. Yes, Mama.
Feather.
Hmm?
Feather.
Yep. Okay. Do you want to lie down with me or do you want to lie down in your room?
Lie down.
Okay. Good job, bro. All right. So. Oh, do you think Biafra will work until there's a return back to traditional structures? So I think that there is more. I think that the spirits of the land, the spirits of Allah, the spirit of Arobinago, the spirit of Anyanwu, the spirit of Amadioha, I think the spirits of the land is waking up Africans all over the world. All right. And it has been doing this for several years, but oftentimes we'll try to wake up and then we'll use
Daddy, where's Mommy?
we'll use the things that put us to sleep as a part of our wake up process.
Where's Mommy?
Oh, I'll be polite. Mommy went to work.
But Mommy went to the nails.
No, Mommy didn't go to do her nails. She went to work because it's dark.
It's too dark. I can't see anything.
Okay, let's lie down so that we can get back up when it's lighter, okay? All right, so as I was saying, the spirits of the land are waking us up. But unfortunately, I think, and I'm seeing with my own two eyes, when we wake up, we often wake up and then start doing the thing that put us to sleep to begin with. So in order for something like Biafra to work, we have to sincerely apply our traditional methods of coexisting and existing. Because there is not a single Igbo person, Biafran, that will tell you that what we came from didn't, or what we're doing now works better than what we came from. The issue is it takes a lot of boldness, I guess, to detach from European systems. Okay, so I just made a video on TikTok and I'm talking about this I think it's in my next video. I talk about it a little bit, right? So on TikTok right now, and I'll show you how colonialism actually works. So on TikTok right now, the Chinese people are going nuts and they are posting the actual prices for a lot of the American and European luxury brands. So Birkin bags only cost $10 to make, and the knockoffs and the real ones come from the same factory. But since Trump pissed them off, they're now spilling, they're spilling the tea.
Daddy.
Yes, Mama.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? Okay, we're gonna go eat soon, okay? Namdi, start brushing your teeth. Come here, baby girl. All right, so put your head down.
I'm hungry.
I know you're hungry. Just let's stay off the camera.
I'm hungry.
What?
I'm pretty hungry.
You're hungry? Okay, you guys are all hungry? Okay, I'm gonna make some food for you guys. All right, guys, you guys are gonna follow me as I cook. It's about to be a cooking channel. Let me see if I have phone battery. We'll make it. All right. So as I was saying, I'm talking about on TikTok about how the Chinese are exposing the actual cost of these so-called Italian products and French products, and exposing that they're actually Chinese, and these Chinese products are hola. Okay, Namdi, yeah. You want Dana and Roma? No more Dana and Roma. It's time for us to eat.
I want to eat.
Okay, what do you want to eat?
I want to eat.
What do you want to eat?
I want to eat.
Oh, sure, Mama. So they're exposing. You already had one. They're exposing the actual price of these alleged Chinese products, right? Or these alleged it's European products. And so somebody in China will make something for $10, and somebody from Italy will buy it from them and sell it back to you for $5,000, and then you'll use it to flex on some other Negroes, and think that you're better than somebody because you bought this scam from Italy. But the only thing that allows you to hand somebody $5,000 for a bag is the fact that it was touched by a Caucasian Caucasoid. Because if they said this bag was from Uzbekistan, Zimbabwe, if they said the bag was from China, if they said it was from Nigeria, you wouldn't even you would laugh, right? And so this is a small symptom of a larger problem. What the European colonialists did was go to Africa, go to all these different places and lobby to convince people. Hold on.
Daddy, what happened to me?
All right, hit the button. Lobby to convince people that they are the source of legitimacy. So in order for something to be legit, it has to come specifically from them, or once they touch it, it's legit, right? You always see me make these jokes about, if you watch this channel long enough, I always make these jokes about this cite your sources concept, right? Cite your sources. Cite your sources means which Caucasoid told you this. Right? Sometimes a Japanese guy, but which Caucasoid told you this BS? And once you can show me that your master said told you this, I can now relax and trust you, right? And so yeah, so when it comes to things like let's say there's a Biafra, right? We can't be afraid of using our actual forms of government that we know work. We know these things work, right? There's a funny thing that happens at home where when somebody's sick, they'll first go to church, which is mental. Of course, the church doesn't work, and then they go to the conventional hospital. When the conventional hospital does, or the Western hospital, when the Western hospital doesn't work, they go to the DBA. The DBA is the third person they go to because they know that one will work for sure. It just hasn't been approved by a Caucasian, so they're not. Oh, it's scary, right? Right? So once we get past, if you can't get past that, whatever system the West gave you, whether it's working for you or not working, every single time you try to create something, you will recreate their system over and over and over and over. That's why a lot of, we need to go back to the indigenous blah, blah, blah. And then they'll start quoting Karl Marx, like, bro, he's not indigenous. I don't, what are you talking about, bro? That goddamn German? Aren't you tired of listening to some damn Germans, bro? Maybe these guys don't have it figured out. Maybe they robbed you and they created the perception of being rich because they robbed you. And then what they robbed from you is now running out. And so they're scrambling to do something else, right? Maybe it's the robbery. Maybe if you want what they have, you have to rob too. And if you're not willing to rob, you may need to consider something else, right? That's all that is, you know? But, I don't know, man. I'm just ranting at this point. Let me go to more questions. Appreciate you guys' patience with all this kitchen clanking and clacking. So, question, where are we at? So to me, it's easy for me to divorce from these systems just because of maybe how my own chi created me, right? But it baffles me how hard it is for everybody else. Like, I sincerely do not understand or empathize with people's hesitation to question these BS ass systems, right? Somebody will sell you a $5,000 bag. You'll say, oh, okay. Aha, I got one. I got one. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So hold on. Where are we at? Question for anyone. Do you know more? Ooh, damn, that's deep. Do you know more walking facing forward versus facing backwards? I guess I don't understand that question. Where are we at? Akudo. Hi, thank you for your donation. Igade, igeto. Nke ọbụla itiri aka ọ ga-adị n'ụwa ga-adị otu a na-eke n'orie n'afọ na nkwọ. He said, hey, I appreciate that. Well, glad I checked my sub tab because I got no notifications. Yeah, no, YouTube is trying to oppress a brother, you know. So, but I mean, I'm not the only one, right? But yeah, YouTube is not can be very unfavorable sometimes. Where are we at? Can you talk about human sacrifice? Hey, among the Igbos, myth or fact, and what's the rationale? God damn, Jude, what are you trying to do? Jude, before I answer this question, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Yeah, historically, human sacrifice did exist. You know, historically, human sacrifice did exist. 100%. Where are we at? Historically, it did exist. There, like for example, there's an example of a community where amongst the four brother communities, if they go to war with each other, in order for peace to be declared, somebody has to be buried alive. So somebody who was not part of the war, an old woman has to, or post-menopausal woman has to be buried alive from both communities in order for the peace accord to be made. And this particular thing is there to assure that they don't go to war with each other. So things like that existed, absolutely. Now, I don't think we should bring that back. That's just kind of crazy. I don't know. But some people need to be sacrificed. I don't Every system has its quote problems and shortcomings. Absolutely. Do you think Igbo and other traditional systems are doing enough to address them? Those shortcomings are big enough for people to turn away. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. I think we're all in an awakening phase right now where we're waking back up to things. Um, a lot needs to be in place for us to now start being more critical and that kind of thing. But right now we're just awakening to the basics and that kind of thing. Not enough is directly implemented for us to begin to say, okay, this doesn't work, that works, that kind of thing. I have come to find that the things I disagree with in our ancestral cosmology are the things I learned the most from. And the third things that have caused me to gain the most growth as I studied them, right? Which makes sense, you know, the things you agree with, you're a master of. Your chi says these are for you, so they're for you. It's the things you don't agree with that your the rest of your growth is going to is where your rest of your growth is going to come from, right? When I first started this journey, like as far as like the channel, I didn't agree with sacrifice, right? I didn't agree with sacrifice, but now it's like, yeah, well, hell, of course, it has to happen, right? I don't know about humans, though. Yeah, some people do need to be. Hey, Jude, Biko, this one you're asking about sacrifice, so don't say that the guy on YouTube is the one that sent you. Don't say that the one that you got on YouTube, one happen more. Can you talk about humans? Okay, you already said that. Wait, no, you don't have to block that question. Okay, hold on. Okay, Jude is just spam bombing. So yeah, no, Jude, thunder, you're the one who will be sacrificed. Can you not spam your question, Biko? Thank you for your answer. Love to hear it anytime, Angelica. Midwesterner, Ohio, Ohio in the house. I grew up in Nebraska, so it's a ridiculous place to grow up. As a Midwesterner, I think you would. Oh, okay. As a Midwesterner, I think you would like David Foster Wallace's prose. Yeah, David Foster Wallace is one of the guys at the book that I read, which I can't remember the title of, but it was amazing. I got it at a thrift store. Um, he's one of the people who the book introduced me to. I had heard the name float around, but like I never thought about him. And then I went and checked out his stuff. So yeah, you are correct. He's up there too. He's very up there too. I'd put Chimamanda over. You're writing a novel. What is it about? Well. Let me tell you. I'm in the editing phase right now, um, but it is about a community in the ancestral era, right? In ancient Igbo land, as semi-moderny, ancient, and it is about okay. So there's a person who was involved in the slave trade, and they came to kidnap a woman, and the woman was a very powerful is and why. And so she cut her hands and she rubbed his eyes, and that put a curse on him that there will be a war which will end his generation over, or that will take away everybody he loves over and over and over through all of his reincarnations until he agrees to stop living. He has to agree to stop living, right? But nobody wants to agree. That's scary. And so he keeps reincarnating and reincarnating, and this war goes on for generations and generations. And this particular person, oh yeah, another part of the curse is that he can't die. He can't die unless he accepts to die. right? So if somebody shoots him, something will happen within his chi will make sure that the bullet doesn't hit him, right? And so all these different incarnations, he lives these horrible, miserable lives until this current incarnation, right? And what happens is if the person doesn't accept, then it'll pass on to one of their children. You understand? If they die without children, it'll pass on in their next life. It's so yeah, that's kind of what the book is about. And then it's now this person's turn to kind of have the curse. And the war is still going on, but it's on its last leg and it's ending. And there's this like secret society that is now benefiting from the war because they're involved in the slave trade. And so they want to keep it going. And they're seeing that this group is trying to end it. And then all just there's a bunch of stuff going on. So I haven't thought of a concise way to say it's about this, right? But that's kind of what's going on. It follows four young people. Um, and four of them, they kind of, four young people, they all have their different personalities and things like that. And they all end up playing a major role towards what happens in the end of the book, including the kid or the young guy. It's not a kid, the young guy who ends up inheriting the curse, right? So the curse is that you can't die, but you can't die unless you will it. And then, so like even if you like severe injury, you'll just be alive like some zombie. And once you will it, the war will end, right? But the person is always scared to because nobody wants to die. Akata Witch series is fire. I love Akata Witch. I think Nettie is a great writer for preteen, even young adult, which is a skill. Yeah, I would imagine. I'm back, listening intently, Angela. Ndewo, Angela. Good seeing you. Indiana. All right, Indiana in the house. Can we talk about people that were here before the Igbo? If you can tell me who they were, that'd be great. Our ancestors speak about a group of people known as Ndimbu, but we are the descendants of Ndimbu. We're not a separate group of people. So, according to Odinani, we're the first people, right? Igbo means original, aboriginal farmers, the original people, right? And there's a lot in the artifact record to kind of support some of those claims, but everybody has their biases. Phoenix Indigo, you are incredible. So Phoenix Indigo typed the Patreon. Guys, get on Patreon. Get on Patreon. Let's kick it. Been on live, but also trying to protect your child's privacy on the internet is hard. You're doing a great job. I do go. Thank you so much. So with my son, you're a new parent and you don't think about it. You're like, oh, look at my son. Yeah, you're just excited, right? And then as I get older and I have my second child, I'm just like, I wish I didn't do that to begin with and that kind of thing. And then plus they always want to be involved anyway. They always want to be involved. My son is really into the video editing. Like when I'm editing my videos, he used to want to be in the live. He used to be the conductor for my for my lives. Now he's like old enough to like be too cool to do that stuff, right? But now it's my daughter's turn. But my daughter's own is she doesn't want to cooperate. She wants me to stop that and go to her. So different personalities. So I didn't know. But it was just me learning from my errors in the past. How do you start making cultural content for social media? Angelica, you just kind of start. You can message me if you want to talk about it, but you just kind of start. And one of the things I learned from my brother, who's a very successful YouTuber, is we had these very different ways. Growing up, we had these different ways of operating or working. If I made something, I would want it to be perfect before it came out. He would make something and just put it out. And I used to think that was so crazy. I was like, dude, you didn't even edit it. You didn't do whatever. Like, there's a bunch of lag. What are you doing? And you put it out next one, put out the next one. So by the time I've made one, he's made like 14, right? And I learned from that. I learned that, yeah, you just put it out. Don't think about it too much. Just put it out. The next one you improve. I think people appreciate watching you improve over time more than you being perfect the first time, right? So, Angelica, I don't know if I'm answering the question you're asking, but I'll do my the petty Chinese videos have been hilarious. Yeah, yeah, no, Chinese people are very funny. So we'll see where this all goes. I don't care for designer brands. Yeah, I don't get it either, but a lot of people like it. Sometimes I'll bump into some designery thing from like a thrift shop or something, but I'm not like a shoppy kind of person. Low key, I think your baby's trying to tell you talking too much. Maybe I shouldn't say too much, right? Not to mention the leather is from Nigeria. Yeah, yeah, it's from Nigeria. Italian leather is from Nigeria. It's It's the same leather that we're using to make Bomo. Birkin leather is from Togo. They call it Togo leather, right? To make it sound, I guess. I mean, I guess they're telling you where it's from. But the Birkin leather is from Togo. The other Italian ones. I don't know if Birkin's from Italy, but Italian ones are from Nigeria. Italian leather label had to be removed due to the leather coming from Nigeria. LOL. I thought most people knew brand names make our stuff in China and cheap. Yeah, I thought most people knew too, but I think people are finding out the extent that the goofiness has been going on. But I mean, I don't know. It's whatever. They people like what they're doing. They're having fun. I do wonder the people who base a lot of their personhood and their public persona on their access to these luxury goods. I do wonder what the future looks like for them because I almost feel like it's going to become comedy to see people wearing these things, or maybe it'll blow over and people will act like this didn't happen, which happens a lot, right? And then you bring it up in 10 years and they say that you're a conspiracy theorist and okay, you go talking about that weird stuff again. What do you mean the Chinese were exposing blah blah blah? I know, right? If I bring up what the Chinese were saying about anime, people will think I was crazy. But, but yeah, once it blows over, maybe people will just go back to normal. Dolce and Gabbana been real quiet since the Chinese tariffs hit. Yeah, Trump. I feel, man, that boy Trump, man, it's like maybe some maybe he was sent by the Russians. I don't know, because he's really tearing this whole thing up. People's commitment to mindless consumerism is scary sometimes. I laugh and joke, but when will this lifelong infomercial end? Yeah, it's wild. I don't think I'm really wired that way. If I spend, I'm most comfortable spending on things that like help me learn because that's just what I'm passionate about. That's what's fun for me. I don't knock anybody for spending their money the way they want to spend it. It's whatever. But just like there's a game being played, right? If you're aware of the game and you're okay with the game, you're consenting to the game, there's no problem. That's fine. Go buy your $7 trillion bag. But if you're not aware of the game and you're being played, then there's something dishonest going on, right? So I don't knock anybody. Like for me, like I don't I mean, there's very few things to actually spend that you actually need to spend your money on. After a while, it just becomes okay. Let me just have fun and goof off or whatever. Which then at that point, whatever, do what you want to do. Um, the issue comes from when the fact that who gets the privilege of making these ridiculous ass prices, right? It's always Western Europeans. Why is it always Western Europeans? Why is it only a Western European can tell you that a bag is cost $30,000 and you'll believe it? That points to something more nefarious and more troubling than the actual cost of the bag. Okay, because that thing is the reason why there's a World Trade Organization, and it comes and it tells you what to do, and then you okay, how to run your own thing. You go okay, and it turns out they're just wiring your country to work for their country, but in your head it's valuable and impartial, right? It's the reason for a lot of things. The reason a lot of people are, in the Sahara Desert dying, going to countries that their country's better than, right? Better than, you know, it just, that kind of thing. I think at this point, most of the economy of the continent of Europe is just fairy tales. It's just that people have bought into the fairy tales so hard. I don't know what the hell you guys are buying that's made in Spain that makes Spain a first world country. I buy more stuff from Ghana than I buy from Spain, and you do too, right? If you ever bought like some shea butter or something that has shea products in it, you probably got it from Ghana. You probably got it from Nigeria. Um, but I ain't bought a goddamn thing from Spain. I bought nothing from Italy. I guess Italy makes luxury products. Like how many Ferraris are being sold for these people to have free healthcare? Something's not adding up. Is that people are really buying that many Ferraris? You know, I look at these things like, okay, what do these people actually make? And it's just like wine, Oh, people really buying that much wine, But maybe you just need to sell one $7 trillion bottle of wine so everybody has healthcare, right? If something costs more than $1,000, it better be intricate, made by hand, the finest silk, embroidered with fucking gold. Right. I agree. Or something like for me, if it's something that can help me grow. That's just the way I see it. That's me, right? But I'm a nerd. Some people, people who are cool, you know what I mean? They might want to, you know, flex on someone, and that's super important to them. And we're all doing the same thing anyway. It's not a big deal. Not everybody has to be like me. All right, so I'm in the middle of cooking. Hear the meat sizzling. All right. Oh yeah, questions. I'm a writer too. I'm in the right place. All right, cool. So bring up writing topics and we'll talk writing. I love talking writing. Um, man, yeah, you are definitely in the right place and I'm happy you're here. Sounds like a must read. Oh, thank you. Oh, this book sounds good. And I go, okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Looking forward to reading your book. Thank you. I'm a scribe as well. Okay, I found my tribe. If you need a proofreader slash editor, let me know. Okay, all right. I see it. I have a very good analytical mind, so I think that would be perfect. Absolutely. Um, wait, which book is this? I got that which? No, this is my book. I think the working title for my book right now is the girl he tied to a tree. The girl he tied to a tree. Something like that. The girl he tied, something like that, right? The girl he tied to the tree, or the girl he tied to a tree. Something about a girl getting tied to a tree. That's the working title right now. It's been the working title for a while, for about 2, 3 years now. The girl he tied to a tree. Part of the story is a girl getting tied to a tree, if you can't tell from the title. And so, yeah, it's hard for me to give the synopsis because it's like four people's experience through a certain time in their community's history or in their community's existence. All right, where are we at? But yeah, I would love to talk writing. I'm all like, the way my mind works, I'm really into like techniques and how things are done. If you guys can't tell with how I present my information. And so I love hearing like writing techniques and all that stuff. Hi, Derek. I'm wondering about the Biafra movement today. I myself, I'm wondering too. Do you have a specific question about the Biafra movement? That'd be an interesting topic. That's a good. Am I sweating? It's a good idea. Need a log line. I wrote a book about ancestral curses a long time ago, but it goes a different direction. I'll show you the synopsis when it's finished. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, cool. You guys have sent me, a lot of you guys have sent me your stories. I've not read everybody's story, but the ones, what the hell did I just do? Hold on. I don't know what I just did. All right. Man, come on with that bullshit. All right, there. My bad. And so, hold on. It's sad they can't stop lying. Yeah. I had no idea that China was making clothes, shipping them to other countries, and having. Hey, do you know? Now that we're talking about, do you know what's funny? Do you know who knows? Igbo people. And I'm worried for my people because a lot of the keys are being exposed. So if you go to any Chinese city, you're just gonna see like thousands of Igbo people. And they buy these things at their, retail and they go sell them all over the world, Middle East, Africa, Nigeria. They sell them at the whatchamacallit price, right? Igbo people are traders, so that's what they do. But now that the Chinese are exposing everything, I mean, we may need to hit a pivot, We may need to do something else. You want what? What do you want, Mom? What do you want?
Juice.
You want juice?
Yeah.
It's late. It's kind of late for juice, hold on. You already had a Capri Sun. Okay, Ola, do you want to eat cereal?
No, no.
Hmm? Oh yeah, where?
Mm,
You don't want?
no.
Okay. As you can tell, my daughter gets whatever she wants.
Applesauce.
So,
Applesauce.
you want applesauce? Okay, that's very good. Cherry. Hold on, guys. Where's applesauce?
Here.
Where?
Here.
Is this the applesauce?
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Oh, smart.
Mm.
A very smart wife. There you go. Hold on. All right, Namdi. The burgers are ready.
Does it have ketchup?
There you go.
Does it have ketchup?
Mba.
No.
No, I didn't put. So you can put your own though. Okay.
Mm.
All right.
Sure.
When you're done, come upstairs and brush your teeth and bring all that toothbrush. Okay.
Mm.
Oh, didn't mind. Just can. All right. Where are we at? Wait. Angelica says something interesting as heck. Let me see. That does help a lot if I'm a perfectionist, so I'll never start. Oh, about my brother's. Yeah, my brother has this gift where he just does it, and it's cool because over time you see his efforts improve, and I think that's a more interesting journey than being perfect the first time out. And so I've learned from that, and that's one of the things
Where's my
that.
shirt?
Oh, you got some applesauce on your shirt? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, Mama. There you go. It's better. Do you want it?
No, my applesauce.
Here, let's go get a bowl of applesauce. Come on. You guys are seeing how I'm being oppressed in this house. I had no idea China was making clothes and shipping them. Yeah. So Igbo people. Yeah. So going to China and getting things directly. Belgium was the big one in the 90s. Singapore, Taiwan. If you go to all these places, you're gonna see a ton of Igbo people, and they're a part of the general distribution network, probably for the whole of Africa. For the whole of Africa, and that kind of thing, and parts of the Middle East, America too. Shit, you know. Yeah. So boys are vexing, or they'll go get an exclusive contract with like a major company, and then they're the only ones that can like import it into one country or another. And then all that stuff pisses everybody off, and they try to chase us out. So, what did the Chinese say about anime? The Chinese said that anime was created by the United States CIA. You can look it up. By the CIA and one specific Japanese man, and the intention was to feminize Japanese and East Asian men. So that's the Chinese theory on anime, and they let this out around the time that they ban feminine-looking characters in their media, or feminine-looking male characters in their media. Now, do I know whether this is true or not? I don't know. But if I were to say it, right, it may sound like I'm the crazy one. But they really said this. So over time, the news just stopped being news, and people forgot about it. So that was why I brought up that example. You know, that the anime was there to feminize, to feminize Asians. Like, me and my brother were having conversations about 80s Asians. He was like, bro, what happened to those Asians that used to have the headband and do karate? And they were kind of tan, you know? All right, let me stop being racist. Hold on. If I'm not learning, I don't want it. Yeah, learning's my fun. I'm watching. I don't want to ruin all the anime people's fun. I feel like 9 out of 10 people who like my stuff who also like anime. As far as anime goes, I didn't go as far. I didn't go past Dragon Ball. I didn't go past Dragon Ball. Uh, my ex-husband is from Spain. Please ask your ex-husband what his country sells. Palm oil rules the world right now. if we're being exactly right, things like palm oil, you know what I mean? Things like oil itself, shea, black soap, you know. I was trying like not Western, I guess like the modern skincare stuff. And then I started reading the ingredients, I didn't like them, so I switched to black soap and shea butter, you know. Now I got the glow. Gold stitched fabric for real. Hello to all the wordsmiths in the chat. Yeah, hey, I'm so happy I found my people. I'm so happy I found my people. Had to shorten the words due to space. Okay. The ancestors were on me last year because my flyness wasn't matching my what? I had to go with thin, and now my shopping habits are neutralized. Dot 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 for now. I'm sure the ancestors want you to be fly. I don't. Why wouldn't the ancestors want you to be fly? What kind of hating ass ancestors you got? You know, my ancestors are tired of me not. My ancestors are tired of me not getting the expensive ass, bullshit ass bags and shit. You know. But my ancestors were similar to me, anyways, because my dad is similar to me, and his dad is similar to him, and my grandmother is similar to both of them. And on my mom's side, people on my mom's side are very good with money. They're very good with like business and money and stuff like that. So, I don't know. You once mentioned that you do a video about Dada. Yeah, yeah, the topic is coming. See if you can. I don't know if you've asked it as a question. So when you ask questions, or I'm sorry, when you post it as a comment on a video, I take it and I put it on Patreon for a vote, which I haven't done in a while. So, but and then from there we pick what the next video is going to be on Patreon. But yeah, that sounds like a good video. I'm trying to get it so that I post a video a day, and I'm getting close. I'm figuring out the formula, right? Once I get there, then I don't even need to do the vote. I'll just whatever you ask, I'll just drop it, drop it, drop it. So I don't mind. That's a loaded title. How did you come up with the idea for that? The book, I mean. Okay, the book came to me. The book coming to me is the reason the medicine shell exists. The book coming to me is the reason the medicine shell exists. So I remember at the time I was working at this one job that was sincerely draining my moi. And I had this dream that this old woman came and she told me to look at my palms. Or she didn't tell me, she didn't say anything, she just looked at me and I looked at my palms and I saw that one was shorter than the other. And for some reason, that told me, I can't describe it with words, but that told me that I need to pursue the things that I'm passionate about, right? Because I was just into like, once I get X amount of money, then I'll do the things I'm passionate about. And for some reason, I just felt like that this is my life in that process. And then when I'm passionate, I'm gonna have this long, strong, healthy life. This is also my left hand. So following the left hand path, right? A long, strong, healthy one. I just saw those two lines. And at that point, my head just something just happened. And so I just started writing the book. The book came to me within that week, the idea. The original idea was inspired by there was a massacre of Native Americans somewhere in Colorado, and it was insane. And for some reason, that thought started growing into a book. And I just kept seeing a girl who was tied to a tree and a boy who was lost in a forest by teenager, not a boy, and who was lost in like a deep jungle. And it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And then I just started writing. I didn't have like a big plan, I just started writing. And those of you who write, you'll know that when you start the process of writing, the book starts writing itself, right? The book starts writing itself. In Odinani, we call that ose or uche, right? Meaning that this thing we call thinking and inspiration and thoughts, it's not us that's doing it. It's flowing through us. It's flowing through us. And most of the time, it just needs us to do physical motions so that it can continue to flow. So the physical motion of writing was just making all these characters appear and all these situations, and it was written in a very free form jazz kind of way. And then I wrote everything in like a month. I was so locked in on writing this that I actually got fired from the job. Because I would just go to work and just and I'd go home, you know. and I ended up getting, which was insane because at that time I was the sole provider in the house. Um, and it was horrifying. It was scary, but I didn't feel like I felt like that was supposed to. Everything felt good. It felt like if somebody was pressing down on you and they just released. That's what it felt like, you know. And at the time, I was thinking, oh, it's because I didn't like that job, but I understand that it's more than that now. And I just kept writing and writing, and then like I literally go, wait, the people aren't gonna understand the stuff I'm talking about in this book. That was my first thought. And as I'm writing this, I start investigating Odinani a lot more, like with a more serious eye, because I would passively learn things. I would passively learn these. Just you when you're living in a culture, you just like encounter, okay, this is in Java, and Java is this, that. You do that within Java. These are the market days, but you don't hone in on it because it's just around you, right? And so I start being more intentional in my learning of Odinani. And as I become more intentional, I go from like being like a person who's like researching to like a person who's living it. And as I'm living it, the book starts coming out more in full volume and scope and scale and things like that. Now I wish I wasn't doing it in a big episode of going crazy because it's like sprawling. And if it were up to me now, it would be a lot more condensed and simple. But it's okay. It was supposed to be big and sprawling and that kind of thing. And so that's kind of where that all came from. Um, and so the medicine shell and the book were kind of, they're like twins, you know, they're like twins. But the book came out, the book's feet came out first and that kind of thing. So, oh wow, okay. So the title is great. I'm very visual. I'm also an artist. If you need concept art, yeah, send me your art. Let's talk. Let's talk. This is cool. Thank you. Damn, maybe I should be talking about the book more. Main concept. I appreciate that. Main concept. Why do I feel like I've seen your art though? What other name do you go by? Is there another name that you go by? It's so funny that there's like two Daria avatars, but I always say this every live. But yeah, what kind of notebooks do you keep? Find most useful? I'm in the middle of ordering new ones this year. What kind of notes or notebooks do I keep? Angelica, do I strike you as an organized person? What kind of notebooks do I keep? I write everything on dry erase boards. So if you want to see my process, which I can see you being interested in that kind of thing, hold on. If you want to see my process, I can't find my actual board. I'm gonna go to the other room and see if I can find my board. Hold on. Okay, good. All right, so this is my process in just life, I guess. So what I do is this is super smudgy and dirty right now, but I have like people. So like if I have to do something for somebody, or like sometimes one of you guys will be like, "Hey, can you do blah blah blah?" I'll write your name here, and I'll write whatever it is. So I have like a section for people, and then all of the different things that I'm involved in, right? Like that kind of thing, and then I'll have the things I'm supposed to do between Urie Afo Nkwo, and then Eke I rest. So I try to finish everything by Nkwo, right? Which this one's looking crazy anyways, and that kind of thing. So this is my process. It doesn't look neat, but it's just like the people obligations and then like things I have to do. And then the things I have to do are based off of this bigger board, which is like my year goals. I'm not gonna hold it in a way. I mean, I guess you can pause the video, but I'm gonna try to distort it a little bit. And so I've broken down the year goals into little pieces, and then I try to do a piece a week, and that kind of thing, and get things done. That's my process, Angelica. I don't know if that was a question you're asking. Do you guys feel like you channel your stories, or I 100? Yeah, it's all channeling for me. It's all channeling, and that's why the editing process is kind of like rough because it is all channeling. So I try not to lose the essence of what was channeled. But yeah, some of it is like, okay, I don't know why I'm using these words. That's ridiculous, or this is entire sentences spelt wrong, and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's a channeling process. You set a goal, like for me, like you go, okay, we're going here. You point to a direction, and then as you're moving in that direction, things start coming out. We have a group study on Patreon, right? Join the Patreon, by the way, patreon.com/the medicine show. So we have a group study, and one of our group studies we were talking about, and like the group study is like a Zoom meeting, like we're all talking and hanging out and stuff like that. And we were talking about this ilu that says Oko nechebuche, uche nechebuko, which means wisdom. Oh wait, the feet await for wisdom. Wisdom awaits the feet. So you need to know what direction to go. You're waiting for the wisdom, you're waiting for the instructions. But if you the feet start moving, the wisdom starts coming because the wisdom was waiting for the feet to move. And so that's very much what I see in the writing process, at least for me. When I start writing, the uche starts coming, right? I wrote this scene and I lost it because I took my computer to Best Buy and some things are missing, but it's whatever. And this was, to me, the best damn scene in the book. Like this shit was fire, right? It was just like, yo, I was so proud of it. Can't find it for nothing. I have to rewrite it, and it's like heartbreaking. Um, but I know that once I start typing the first words, the rest of it's gonna come out. But it just hurts to lose something like that, right? It was like shit, shit was fire. So I don't know. And I was very in love with like the words that were used, a lot of the very specifics, the specifics in it. But you know, it'll come again. So both are important. Oh, this is Jay by the. Oh, Jay, that was this been you the whole time. This Jay, this has been you the whole time. You guys are funny because like somebody will be like, um, hey, when do classes start? And then I'll be like, oh, they start on this, and this is not you, Jay. This Jay, I did not know this was you the whole time, but yeah. So I'll be like, oh, when the classes start, and I'll be like, oh, blah 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 blah. But if you're interested in signing up, message me, and the person's like, I've already signed up. And this happened like last week, and if you're in the chat, then you know I'm not. It's whatever. It's love. And so they'll be like, I already signed up, and then I go check, and like they're like, it's like the Dragon Slayer signed up, but then like the person I'm talking to is like Emeka. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know you were the Dragon Slayer. Okay, my bad. So sometimes y'all with these aliases, man. It's all good though. Yeah, she's so cute. Yeah, she's very adorable, and she's aware of it. That's the problem. Hope no added sugar in that applesauce. No, there's no added sugar. I'm trying to get her off the. I'm trying not to have her take sugar before she goes to bed. She's supposed to be in bed now, but because of this, she gets to stay up. We in the Caribbean knew about Chinese trading since forever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now Igbo people have been tapped in. Igbo people have had that Chinese connection for a long ass time. A lot of the Chinese stuff probably getting from an Igbo person, you know. But here's the thing, though: the Chinese have been really instrumental in the industrialization going on at home right now. So right now in Nigeria, a lot of factories are coming up, and it's been happening for a while. But what it used to be was that when you try to get like 'cause factories have like essential machines. And so when you try to get these essential machines from the Europeans, it'd be like, we only sell to these countries, or they'll give you some like price that was ridiculous. And then the Chinese are just like, bruh, how much you got? All right, bet. We got one for that price, and then we got one for the higher price. And so now you're seeing all of these traders are now starting these factories. My brother-in-law started like a pure water factory where they bottle water, just using a Chinese machine, and so forth. I'm thinking of something, and I think that's the big thing that we need to do at home right now, right? Let me do the school first. We're building a school first, so let me do that first. But yeah, like the Chinese have really opened the floodgates for people to be able to just do things that the original gatekeepers were keeping. And that's why when I see all these stuff about like, oh, China's colonizing Africa, I'm just like, I don't like y'all got to stop that shit. It's the fuck. Y'all got to stop that nonsense. That's a whole different discussion, though. So it's gonna cause me to rant. Please, when will you be releasing new videos? I'm trying to release a new video every Tuesday, and I'm working up to be able to release a new video every day, actually. So, but I'm trying every Tuesday. The issue with releasing every day is I don't want to compromise the quality, right? I don't want to compromise the quality. But who cares? But my main videos come out on Tuesday. So this Tuesday I'm coming out with a video. Next Tuesday I'll have another video, and I'm going to try to have other mini videos throughout the week on different topics and things like that. So they probably said it because it's from Japan. Trare denied secondhand clothes. Hit them with their pockets. Something about black women authors feels different. Yeah, yeah. It's like a secret society with high elders. Yeah. Yeah. So in the process of writing my book, I tried to get more like involved in like the people who read books world because I don't read novels or I didn't prior to. I mean, I read some here and there. Like growing up, you read the ones that you're supposed to in school, and then just as being who I am, I've read like various like Nigerian authors and things like that. But I mean, I guess I'm a reader, so I'm not like an avid reader. And so I wanted to understand like avid readers in that whole world. So I was dibbling and dabbling in book talk and watching those videos and things like that. And then I got into black book talk and I got introduced to all these like black women writers and things like that. And so some really cool stuff. I still need to read Octavia Butler. I still need to read Octavia Butler. Um, and who else? Octavia Butler and oh, Flora. Okay, I've already read Flora and Wapa. So my two goals were Octavia Butler, Flora and Wapa. I've already gotten Flora and Wapa. I need an Octavia Butler. So yeah, no, but black women, the prose level is on a different. It's different. One of the first major animes was Astro Boy. That was before the 80s Asians. Look, this is not my theory. This is just what the Chinese government said. Then they started banning feminine looking characters from their media, right? So, and then I was talking to my brother about it. He's like, yeah, because back in the day, Asians used to have the headband and muscles and do karate and shit. I was like, damn, bro, I guess that Naruto got them. Shit. I just started watching Solo Leveling yesterday. My sister put me on. What's the book's title? The book's title is why can't I think? The book's title is the working title is The Girl He Tied to a Tree. Working title. Still but I like it. It's a working title, but I like it. Art writes all by itself. Yo, one of the things that makes me happier than happy is when you guys share my art with me. If you guys, I don't use Twitter like that and all those other social medias, but you'll notice I share a lot of art and the ones every now and then I'll get in. I just like seeing art. It's good stuff. So whenever you guys share your art with me, that's always a good day. Yeah, you got so into your real job that you're a space holder. Yeah, they let you. I was just fucking. I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't checking emails, nothing. I was just few. It was funny because I was doing good the month before. Then it's just like, what the hell happened to this guy? But Ududi. That's the best way to say Ududi. I have some dry erase boards I need to dust off. Elmo, that's the same one I have. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, these dry erase boards will save my damn life. If you really want to see how bad it gets, I took like a little plastic laminate and I put it on this table here. So like if I'm working and somebody says like something pops up I need to do, and I don't have my board, I'll just write it here. So I have writing here. The actual table has writing. I can actually write on tables. The table has writing. I try to erase, but it doesn't look good. Stuff like that. Maybe I should show you guys. Hold on. Like this was from a previous to do. I don't want to hold it too long. I don't even know what it says. Probably says something crazy. So yeah, but I think it was in the middle of editing. Yeah, it was in the middle of editing. So yeah. Any stories in Odinani about world floods or giants? Um, there are stories about floods. I don't know any about world floods. I will say this though. There's a lot of stories in Odinani. The beginning, the world was all watery. Was either all water or all watery. Right? They say wadi deke deke, which is like muddy, right? Or just all watery. And then human habitation starts when a force, usually ikukukomosu, or like the bellows of a smith, like the wind from a smith's bellows, dries out the land. So there's a lot of stories like that, like the story of Eri, Eri, starts with a flooded world. Even in Yoruba cosmology, the world, when Oduduwa comes down, the world is flooded. So yeah, I guess there are stories of a world flood that the world begins with water and the land expands or is expanded, um, and so forth. I have an artist's name, but I haven't put anything out there yet. I'm working on three projects. Need to work out how to legally protect my pen name. Yeah, hold on, hey Jay, whenever you're ready, I'm here. Processing my Igbo fractal. He said, writing can feel like a process of discovery. Come on, 100%. When I write, oftentimes I feel as though I'm meditating and uncovering some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, come take Audrey. Yeah, same thing for me. Same thing for me. It's like you're uncovering something that was already there. It's funny too because one of the elements, there's an element of the story that I shared with a person in our Patreon community, and he's like, "Yo, this happened to my ancestor." Like he's like, "This exact story that you're telling right now happened to. This is the story of my ancestor." And then he told me the story. I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." So it's a fascinating thing. It's a fascinating thing. And then like a lot of the characters or some of the characters in my book are based off of like archetypes in Igbo storytelling. So the
What is
main
that?
girl, yes.
Do you want to see space simulation tool?
Let me finish doing what I'm doing. Hey, you gotta brush your teeth though. It's almost you gotta go done. So the main girl is that she follows an archetype of Eringa. This the story of Eringa, and Eringa is the superwoman, and she's this woman who can wrestle men. And the big thing is she will only marry the man who can defeat her in wrestling. And none of the men can defeat her. Like so, it's like this character that keeps popping up in different stories. So her character is a little bit based off of Eringa, but her name is Aquala, right? And um, yeah. So things like that. So that way later, the why I use certain imagery from Odemma. So yeah, I'm trying to think of some other archetypes. I one of my ancestors is a character in the book. One of them are and okay, one the same ancestor. I took his story and I put it on two characters. Trying to think of some other things that pop up in the story. And then there's like little facets of myself in different characters and things like that. So I resonate with the one proverb. Oh, and then the okay, so there's this story in it's like a true story in Igbo land where during colonialism there was this community because colonialism took a long time to really spread in Igbo land, right? And so by the like, there's this one community, I think somewhere in Anambra, where it hadn't reached yet, and there was a girl there. Her parents passed away, and her aunt took her to Ida, which is Igala land, which is in a little bit north of Igbo land, and she became a prostitute there. And while she was there, she ended up becoming the wife or girlfriend of a colonial officer. Yes, Nandi.
I need some help.
Give me a second, okay? Ended up becoming the wife of a colonial officer. And when they reached her actual community, they brought her to become like the new ruler of the community. And she was so paranoid about the fact that she knew her people wouldn't give her a proper burial because of what she's doing, like she's collaborating with the colonials. Um, that she forced the community to give her a chieftaincy title, which counts as a proper burial so that she can reincarnate. And so that character is an archetype for one of the characters in my thing in the story too. So yeah, it's got a lot of things going on. So I'll do my. If you write stuff down on paper first, it's harder to lose it. I am willing to prove you wrong, Angelica. I am willing to prove you wrong because I'll lose the hell out of that paper. I'll do my Ebo manufacturer. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm actually considering getting a typewriter because I don't trust computers that much. Yo, yeah. Okay, that's cool. And plus, it's a really satisfying sound. The typewriter, like, it feels satisfying on the finger, and it's a satisfying sound. Actually, Typewritten manuscript from unfinished story from my grandmother. That's about 70. Wow. Wow. Okay. Keep us posted on where that goes. Sounds aesthetically pleasing. Everything about typewriters is very pleasing, except you can't erase. Drone production factories. Christian Ike, collaborate with, there's somebody in here named Hi. He builds drones. So it sounds like you two have the same idea. You guys need to collaborate, start building the drones. If it's to be done, it's us that's going to do it. Every writer should get a typewriter. Okay, maybe. Maybe. I need to erase, so I haven't. Computer important. Da, 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 da. Read Wild Seed by Octavia. Okay, see, Angelica, see how it works? So you just said that. Now I can just write it on my table. Wild. Here's when I no ink left. Oh, hand in my pocket. And then of course I keep markers on deck. Wild Seed Octavia Butler. All right. Thanks for recommendation. Wild Seed is crazy in the best way, of course. Okay, so Wild Seed will be read then. I process my mirrors when my Why are books by African authors always bright orange or yellow? That's like the type of thing I would notice. But I don't know, but I know exactly what you're talking about, right? That's not a himbo way bullshit that they always try to do. You got to meet the market where it's at. And so when people are feeling Africa-y, maybe that's the colors they vibe with. I got some African author books that are not, hold on, not yellow. Well, I guess the text is yellow. Definitely not yellow. Hold it's such a random. Okay, no, this is bright red. Oh my god, it's true. Yo, hold on. I think that's all I got as far as novels up here. Yeah. And then Chica in the River, I think was white and red. So yeah, you're right. I always gravitate towards those color, but still, yeah, I think it's the Africa colors. Yeah. You have to meet the market where it's at. My logo is yellow, so maybe that's I'm part of the problem. Imagine we all write books and find in Imagine we all write books and find out in a few years that we wrote each other's books, sequels, prequels, or that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I kind of like, let's say I put my book out. I'd be okay with people writing their own prequels and sequels and stuff like that. Like, I think that stuff is cool. It'd be an honor, you know. How people's use rocks historically. I'm writing a paper on prefiguration, configuration of rocks, and wanted to represent cultural uses. Rocks. I mean, the range is really wide. It'd be a hard thing for me to say they used it like this, right? The range is really wide. Sometimes in building, the one of the artifact sites I always talk about is Uguele, and so it's the oldest evidence of human life in West Africa, and it is 2,000 years of continuous stone spear building in a community known as Uguele. Hey, guys, that's loud. That's loud. Get all that toothbrush. Oh, uh-huh. There's thank you, Ola. There's 2,000, I think it was 2,000 years of continuous stone spear building in that area. And so yeah, it's an intimate thing. And then even with that, there's a story of the shrine there that used to give people spears. The shrine is Nechuku or Neka, and she used to give people spears when they'd come and visit her. And then she got offended and flew up and went to another community, and people argue which community she's at. And the community that most recently had the strongest claim was Arochuku, which they used in sometimes nefarious ways during the slave trade. Try to prove me wrong. One in three books. Whatever. I still brought books where it didn't have it. So there you go. It's funny because when you showed us at fruit earlier, my first thought was, oh, wow, it's not red. Hey, yo, chat, should my book be red? I'm thinking my book should be red now. That's so funny. Like, once you said it, I knew exactly what you were talking about. And then, like, they'll have, like, that art where, like, the figure is just like a black kind of shadow, you know? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's hilarious. But yeah, there you go. What advice? What advice would you have for my friend William Ryan to stop his gooning addiction? Well, Foxy, we're gonna pretend that you're not William Ryan. what advice do what advice do I have? It's something I have to sit down and think about. I can't give you a quick answer. Okay, so I try to answer every question possible here, but I don't have a quick answer. One of the things I would say is to stop viewing an urge as a problem to solve. Does that make sense? To stop viewing an urge as a problem to solve. Urges are what make life enjoyable, right? It's really not the food that's satisfying, it's the extent of your hunger, okay? So if you have the hunger to goon, just just live with it, embrace it. That's actually you feeling like a man, okay? That's actually you feeling like a not burnt. I got it. That's you feeling like a man, right? That's what that is. That's the feeling, and it's a great feeling. Take that feeling to the gym. Take that feeling and write a book. In fact, when you're feeling it, go talk to a girl. You'll have all the reas in the world. You understand? People think, "Oh, I'm shy. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert." You know, catch that urge, go talk to a man. You'll, oh my God, he's so player. You know, that's what they used to say back in my day. That people were a player. You know, I don't really say now, but yeah, yeah, just that urge. That's what being a man. That's your ikenga. That's what being a man is. And so you carry that urge and you do things with it. And you realize that you're a very incredible person. But what we do is that we think urges are problems to solve. So when the urge emerges, you want to flatten it, flatten it, flatten it, flatten it. And then before you know it, right, you don't have an urge for anything except that. You know what I mean? You don't really, you want things, but you don't want them. You don't have like a burning passion for, you're not ready to burst through a door to get it, right? So embrace that feeling and learn to accept that feeling as just, that's just what being a man is, right? That's what it is. Like sometimes when you know you're going to eat like at a good restaurant, like, okay, let me just not snack throughout the day. Because if you snack throughout the day, once you get there, the food just looks like a pile of organic matter. It doesn't even look like food anymore, right? But if you, okay, I know I'm going to, I don't know where you guys be eating these days, right? I'm going to go to some nice restaurant, right? And you decide not to snack throughout the day, that's normal, right? Because the urge is the enjoyment. So if you, that's the paradigm shift that you try to make. Now, when you're trying to embrace that urge, you're going to be the most unbearable asshole. I'm sorry, not you, William David, or whatever bullshit name you gave me, is going to be the most unbearable asshole for about 3 weeks. And then you master it and you become a human being again, right? So, yeah, I think everybody in our generation was hit with something, and we're now figuring out that no, this thing isn't good at all. So, that's the advice I have, but I have to sit down and really think about it because there's a lot more to it, right? But just stop seeing urges as a problem to solve. That's the first, right? So yeah. Why did God make the moon? Sir Reginald Bloomquist, so that you can find your father. God made the moon so you can find your father on a smoky midnight. It's late and they're coming out the woodwork. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, but it's all good, if they want to, if they got questions, I'm here. As long as they're not homophobic, sexist, racist, then we're cool. I'm gonna go now. Looking forward to chatting with you all again. Yes, Diaspora, I like your name. It was really nice seeing you. I think this is my first time seeing your name here, so welcome. Whenever you have time, get on the Patreon, join the village. Just so you can have a good night. So, guys, it looks like we're all out of questions, maybe? Or am I frozen? Are we out of questions or am I frozen? I feel like you guys run out of questions at the exact same time every night or every Sunday. What are you doing, Ola? Okay, what did you turn me into?
A bird.
Turn me back. I gotta go live. Turn me back. Boom. Okay, I'm daddy again. All right, we're back. Yeah, I'm out. All right, no, you're not frozen. All right, guys, looks like we're all out of questions. Hey, we are signing up for the Igbo language class. So if you guys are going to learn Igbo this year, if you've made a vow to yourself to learn Igbo this year, yes, everybody's sleepy, so it's all good. I appreciate you guys. So if you guys are signing up for the Igbo language class this year, this is the time. This would be the time to start signing up. If you're thinking about signing up, but the finances aren't there, message me and I'll like hold something for you. Otherwise, guys, thank you guys for being here. As always, uno gade, uno geto, nkobala uno tiriaka, ogade no wa, ogade otwa neke, no rie, na fo na nko. He said, I feel like homie scared off everybody with the greening question.
It's a llama.
Yeah?